night sky over Odessa erupted in a sudden, deafening roar as powerful explosions ripped through the coastal city, catching residents completely off guard. Air raid sirens blared only moments before impact, offering little time for people to reach shelters as Russia unleashed Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, weapons rarely seen in the conflict due to their cost and strategic value. Witnesses described the ground shaking violently as blasts struck near key infrastructure sites, instantly knocking out electricity across wide areas. Streets fell into darkness, communication networks faltered, and the usually busy port city was plunged into an eerie silence broken only by emergency sirens and the hum of backup generators. Ukrainian officials quickly confirmed that the attack targeted energy and logistics infrastructure, calling it a calculated attempt to cripple Odessa's role as a vital maritime and economic hub. Air defense units engaged incoming threats, but the extreme speed and maneuverability of the Kinzhals made interception exceptionally difficult. Military analysts said the strike appeared carefully timed and precisely planned, suggesting Moscow wanted maximum psychological impact as well as physical damage. For civilians huddled in basements and shelters, the message was terrifyingly clear. Russia was willing to deploy its most advanced weapons to demonstrate dominance and intensify pressure on Ukraine far from the front lines. As dawn broke over a darkened Odessa, the scale of the strike began to emerge, revealing why the use of Kinzhal missiles sent shockwaves through military circles. The hypersonic weapons, capable of flying at speeds exceeding Mach 10 while evading most existing air defense systems, are among Russia's most prized assets and are rarely deployed in large numbers. Defense analysts said their appearance over Odessa was not accidental but a deliberate signal from the Kremlin, intended to showcase technological superiority and remind both Ukraine and its Western allies of Moscow's ability to escalate at will. Experts noted that the choice of target carried heavy strategic weight. Odessa is not only a major port but also a symbol of Ukraine's resilience and its connection to global trade routes. By striking deep into the south with such advanced missiles, Russia tested Ukraine's defensive shield and gathered valuable intelligence on response times and interception capabilities. Western officials quietly assessed the implications, warning that the use of hypersonic weapons complicates air defense planning and raises the stakes of the conflict, potentially forcing NATO partners to accelerate the delivery of more sophisticated systems to counter an increasingly dangerous threat. Inside Ukraine, the shock of the Kinzhal strike quickly turned into urgency and anger as authorities raced to stabilize the situation. Emergency crews worked through the night to repair damaged power lines and substations while firefighters battled blazes sparked by the explosions. Hospitals switched to backup generators, and public transport slowed or halted as officials urged residents to conserve electricity. The blackout disrupted daily life across Odessa, deepening fears that Russia was deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure to wear down morale as the conflict drags on. Kyiv's leadership responded with defiance, condemning the attack as another act of terror against civilians and renewing calls for stronger international support. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the strike proved that Ukraine urgently needs advanced air defense systems capable of countering hypersonic missiles, stressing that existing defenses are being stretched to their limits. Military commanders reviewed the night's events to identify weaknesses, while lawmakers pushed Western partners for faster deliveries of interceptors and radar systems. For many Ukrainians, the attack reinforced a grim reality. The war is entering a more technologically brutal phase, demanding resilience at home and stronger backing from abroad. Beyond Ukraine's borders, the strike on Odessa triggered alarm and intense diplomatic activity as governments weighed the broader consequences of Russia's move. Western leaders condemned the use of hypersonic missiles against a major civilian hub, warning that deploying such rare and advanced weapons marked a dangerous escalation. Defense officials across Europe and North America analyzed the attack closely, concerned that the normalization of hypersonic strikes could shift the balance of the war and shorten response times to levels that increase the risk of miscalculation. Behind closed doors, discussions accelerated over new sanctions, expanded military aid, and the urgent reinforcement of Ukraine's air defenses. Some officials argued that the attack underscored the need to supply Kyiv with next-generation interceptors and early warning systems, while others cautioned against steps that could provoke further escalation. As power was gradually restored in Odesa and residents emerged from shelters, the message resonated far beyond Ukraine. The conflict has entered a more perilous stage, where advanced weaponry and psychological warfare are reshaping the battlefield, and the world is being forced to confront how close it is willing to stand to the edge.